Ateker yalama akoto ashukun kinesi lo toma pak pabanna kwenye rongi lo mara toma nerlo abeit akoto bara malai sikera neja singin jopen bone be yalama lo subana idaresi eja ikte sa choa agogong amunoda narai mamera sino paraka duchuno utaro ngini paret. So toma pak analulu I just have really a small breakdown of really what happened a couple of months ago. That is on BLQ. Now, BLQ is a very beautiful platform that has really supported those that it supported, and also a very disastrous something that really affected those that got in either a little bit late or oponano obopera ang akon around atunis kotoma ajarok. So one thing you need to know is platforms like this are usually, of course, scam 100%. Mame bore nebeja domon mam joinye nyirit. Mame ameda nebeja domon tai. There is nobody who is going to give you money in this life for free, whether it is through the government, whether it is through donors, RRI, there is no one. That one you should know it. Anybody that claims outside there that is going to give you money for free, aramamero nache kone poloni kon lui papero kon lui jen jongun, dora ikapon lui langir, it usually comes as a price. So the price tag that people paid, of course, me I would say break it down into majorly around 3-4 things. One is that we did not do the research. There is this going on and there's that beautiful thing about this and that. So one thing on this is bonebe, these people target itungalu mam ejeneta kironi kamera kede lago, and they prey on the problems that we live by every day, that is each and we uparoni in a pack. So let me give this analogy of mine or this example. So what exactly happened is here. The money that I managed to withdraw was about 2.856 million Ugandan shillings. But you should know, by the time the platform was closed, of course, if I then had to recalculate how much I'd already put in, I'd put in again, I get 1.08. So average I would have made around 1 million shillings. You get now maybe 1.5 or something. Yes, all of this is not glory, because one thing you need to know is araira jitungana ni ikota bara tipet, then you are one of them that they are targeting, because they know how you behave, they know how you react, they know how you do all of these things. So I'm also, of course, obviously one of the problems, but even though I knew 100% when I was joining that this was scam, I didn't do the proper research that was supposed to be done. I actually started doing the research when we are almost towards that point of being closed, if you remember, around the independence times and what have you. So basically, what I have also learned some lessons that it don't matter how really you're very smart, these people will of course definitely try to take advantage of everything, because the question that I was caught off guard was when is the platform closing? That was something that I could never manage to answer. It was something that was happening for the very first time, and therefore with all the research you could be able to do, you'd still not be able to know when the platform would be closing. And the main reason for that, okay, like let me just break down on how you would actually identify these people. One, you need to know that on the internet everything is logged when you first launch your website, and then there are certain platforms that are also outside there that will try to find the repeatability maybe, or things like how authentic the integrity of your platform and how people use it. You get a measure how many people go to the website. Then they also see the security part of it, the complaints part of it. They look at them. So when you do your research on BLQ, what would happen would you'd come up with information like, this is a new platform, we don't know much about it, and this is the best we know. So it was made maybe around for BLQ's case, it was on that was on July. July is when it launched out, and then there is very little information about them. So that's why it was very difficult to narrow down on when they were going to close. But the actual sense of the matter was that that is also the reason why Google or any other platform outside there that tries to understand how websites operate, or those that submit information or reviews about certain platforms that are online and that are being maybe having the characteristic of scams and what have you, for those people to be able to identify, it takes maybe some time. If a website lasts more than 3 months, obviously people will begin to report that that website does ABCD, and so they keep logging some of this information. So when somebody goes to do research on a specific platform, they usually get this information. So BLQ was a unique case in that they had not yet lasted more than 3 months, and there was no activity of scam that had happened on the platform. As much as people were putting in a lot of money and picking out a lot of money, yes, there was still no cry until the final hour. So that was why it was very difficult to really understand what happened, what BLQ was. So even if you were to do research, you'd still not be able to find much details about them. So, but does this therefore fail you from using it? I would say this is my own opinion. You cannot take it as advice. You cannot take it as anything. It is purely for educational purposes. So if you do your proper research, if you don't get details on how the scam activities are happening on the platform, there can still be ways you can be able to know. For example, if you search for related platforms to BLQ, they will definitely pop up from everywhere. And that was the question that I did not ask early on. I asked when it was very late. That actually what I really did, I just went to YouTube and I just typed in BLQ, maybe platforms like BLQ, and it was sufficient enough to give me information regarding BLQ and a ton of other platforms. So by the time I got to realize this, things were people were joining in at a very fast rate. That also actually made me know that this was not a safe place to last longer anymore. Me, like I told you, I already knew that the place is not safe, but it was giving me money up front, and so that was the reason why I joined. But the mere fact that numbers were doubling every single minute finally gave me the spook that this wasn't going to last longer than a week again from that time. So yes, research was part of it. And so if you were to say maybe another platform today is coming out, what would be my honest review? This is it. I would join and of course understand first of all how when the platform opened, and then measure how much I can be able to lose and then go in. That is really the humble truth, because as much as Aramamjo Jenny, this is how it really operates. This life is based on that if you don't use me, I will use you. And to think about it logically, it is like if you're wise enough, then I will use you. And if you don't do your necessary research and what have you, you'll be used. And that is really what happened at the end of the day. So I cannot blame the BLQ people for maybe taking part portion of my money, but at least, like I've told you, on my side, it is a small win. And if I saw another platform like it coming out, then definitely I have 100% chance of making it out with clean money. So this is not a legal advice. I'm not angajali mokini nachano kawang nagwelari mongin to put on these platforms and what have you. But if you're wise enough, if you can do your own research, if it is not a money-making scheme for you, if it is not a fast money-making scheme for you, and you really can keep your composure of not being greedy at the end of the day, yes, I saw characteristics of actually they preyed a lot more on the greed of people. If you got 500,000 within the first week, what was the reason of you again remaining there? It was only greed to double up that money and what have you. So that's what I'm trying to insinuate. Of course, as I talk, a number of these platforms are already out, and it is up to you to look for them. If you think you have still the balls to be that kind of ninja, hit me up. Let's see what we can again do about this. So otherwise, peace. Yalama malatalo moroto, malatalo kume, malatalo katakwilo serere le jas kaple biong, muria, aboisongun kabera maido, kere bonbe, darala subanes kere.